We're not even going to do an introduction. So for anybody joining at the very beginning, we just spent about 10 minutes talking about nonsense that you'll never hear on the
Complete
podcast.
nonsense.
Yeah.
It's religion and politics, and we don't talk about that on this podcast. Not priests. None of them.
None of them. Well done. He's just waiting to throw that one in there. Very proud of himself. Yeah, we're back at it. And
back, baby.
What are we talking about today? We're talking about what, Luke?
Creatine.
That's where you grab your mic and say it into the mic.
Creatine.
Creatine. And why are we talking about creatine?
Everybody else seems to be.
Yeah. It is kind of weird to talk about creatine over and over and over when you've been in the industry for so long, because you kind of already know that creatine's awesome, but then you realize that to the average person, they don't know really much about it.
They really don't. Creatine's been around. I mean, it has been around since before I was in supplements. And to say, like, I'm 44 and I was in supplements. My dad owned a gym. I mean, since I was born, and we had sold creatine there at the kiosk at the gym. You know, there was creatine, so it's really been around forever. It's so mainstream now. I do remember I had gotten in trouble for not selling, but encouraging a cousin to take creatine. So I had a cousin.
Yeah.
He's 4 years younger than me, and we were working out together. I must have been getting ready to go to college, like late high school. He's getting ready to enter high school. And he'd bought from my dad's gym, he'd purchased like a EAS phosphagen creatine. So it's like creatine and sugar. And I remember I felt terrible. I got like this scathing email from my uncle, who's a very nice guy. As far as he knew, creatine was a steroid. And I was giving it to his kid, and I even felt bad. But it was like I'm all for. I am all for him getting better and lifting and improving himself. But creatine, something that could destroy his internal organs and shorten his life, no, thank you. I expected better of you. Yet I'm like, and I didn't have like science to back it up. I'm just thought, well,
Sorry.
I felt terrible and told my folks, like, hey, Uncle sent me this, and sorry, but I guess he hid it. He like hid it in the closet and stuff.
It looked worse than it
I
was.
told him to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Yeah, that definitely would happen back in the day.
It was awful. He passed of kidney failure. Tragically from a creatine overdose. I'm kidding.
Did he really die of kidney failure?
Yeah, of a creatine overdose.
Not of a creatine overdose. I was like, that would be kind of ironic.
No,
actually.
he's doing fine. He lives in Kansas City. He's got a beautiful family. He's doing well.
Good to hear that Uncle
Greg
is doing well. Uncle Greg.
Shout out, Greg.
Shout out Uncle Greg.
Tyler's the cousin. Greg's the uncle. But yeah.
Whatever. Same difference.
Yeah.
Anyways, creatine. I don't even think I started taking it till probably when I started working at Max Muscle, which was 11 years ago. I didn't even, knowing how popular it is now and how useful it is, it's kind of weird that I wasn't taking it sooner. Mm-hmm. But
when I really started lifting and started getting bigger, it was like, that kid's on creatine.
Yep.
Like, you're bigger than the other kids. What's he taking? Creatine?
Yeah. The kids in high school that started taking pro hormones, they were like, I'm just taking creatine and getting more sleep at night. And that's exactly what you're doing. Don't tell me what you're really doing.
Yeah. But creatine for your kids can make a huge difference. I know we've talked about it before, but we'll get into more why we're talking about creatine. We're doing a deal with creatine this month. If anyone wants to try it, we'll get to that. But creatine for kids has been proven very effective and very safe. The safety of creatine, creatine's kind of like, I would lump it in like category wise to like protein, and not of the same substance. That's not what it is. It's amino acids, but it's just found in food. So you're going to get creatine when you eat red meat. You're going to get about 1 gram of creatine per pound of red meat. So if you eat a lot of red meat, you're probably already getting a good amount of creatine in there. But with kids, we give our kids a couple grams of creatine. Not every day, maybe, but definitely like after they work out, they go and take some creatine. Yeah. And they're 6 and 8 years old. So there's definitely a benefit to it. And kind of, I always think of it like, well, they did really work hard. I know they're not going to go, we're not crazy, like we're going to go measure their protein intake and all that, but let's make sure we get as much benefit as we possibly can. So, And the other thing for creatine too, for kids with school starting, it's a great cognitive boost. Your brain it uses a lot of creatine for its energy source, and having that creatine, again, if it's lacking in your diet, which just kids in general are probably lacking in protein, and they're not hammering down steaks. So creatine, I mean, if I had to put like, hey, here's my recommendations for kids like going to school, like cognitive functioning, creatine. Eggs, because you're going to have a lot of egg yolk and choline. And some brain food in your egg yolks, and blueberries. My kids love blueberries. They're full of antioxidants, very healthy, a lot of vitamins, but they're also really good for cognitive function. So.
Yeah, I mean, creatine spans, it just seems like every day something new comes out about it. I mean, from just your general health, brain health, it has effects for, lack of sleep to obviously the performance aspect of creatine. So it really spans a lot of categories there. And speaking about kids, like I've even considered giving my boys creatine in their 18 months, because you can do it dose dependent on their weight and stuff. So it was just like
half a gram or something.
It's like milligrams or something. So I just have to get a scale and weigh it out. Definitely thinking about it.
What I would do if I were you is, because you have twins, I would give it to one and not the, give it to one that you like the most. And or give it to one you like the least, and see if he becomes your favorite.
That's true. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Run an experiment here with them.
I think, I mean, twins are historically speaking, twins are really good to run experiments on.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, they're not identical though, so it's kind of skewed a little bit. Because have you seen those studies of the identical twins? One did like animal-based diet, and the other one did I think it was vegan. Mm-hmm. And they found out the one that was vegan was just weaker.
Oh, it was weaker.
Yeah. Those are not synonyms, so I'm not saying that. But yeah, I think maybe around 2 years I'll consider giving them creatine. Throw it in their milk, their little milky with their babas.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you mentioned this month we are running a deal. Every purchase on the Titan Nutrition website.
Every purchase, Tyler?
Every purchase.
What if I purchase a creatine?
You get a free creatine.
Jesus.
Yeah, crazy. Yep.
What about a pre-workout?
You get a creatine.
A protein. What about like a low margin, like a protein?
Yeah.
You get a creatine.
What if I use a code?
You get a creatine.
Even if the code's not for creatine?
Yeah, exactly.
What do I have to do? What's the code?
There is no code. You just put something in your cart and the creatine magically appears.
We're just giving it away.
We're just giving it away. Yep. Crazy, huh?
All right.
Yep.
All right. Free creatine all month long. Any orders?
All month long.
Titan Nutrition. No, it's been cool. We've had we had a lot of new customers even come on an order just to get that creatine. So it is, if you're not taking, I always feel like, I don't care if you're 16 to 60, 6 to 60, creatine is something everybody can benefit from. It's natural. It's found in your food.
Well, even if you go from like all the, bro science to the well-respected people in the fitness industry, like Lane Norton, Huberman, whoever else, that has the credentials behind their names, not Gary Brecka. If you ask them like their base supplements of what they would take, creatine is always in those. Dr. Peter Attia talks about it. Dr. Andy Galpin, like creatine is by far the best supplement you can take for anything.
Right. It's kind of the starter, the building block. Like, hey, I'm thinking about taking supplements. I'm thinking about supplementing my diet. I got that in check. Where do I start? Creatine is going to be kind of first on that list. Yep. So best bang for your buck. How do you take creatine?
I do a heaping scoop with my pre-workout, and then I do another heaping scoop with my post-workout. So you
get like 15 grams.
I try to do at least 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can tell a difference when I take it. I just feel fuller, like muscular-wise. I feel fuller. So I've even tested out the sleep deprivation thing. So if you get one of the studies was if you get one bad night of sleep, less than whatever your normal, like 4 or 5 hours, if you take, I believe it was 20 grams in one dose, it will reverse those effects of that sleep deprivation and actually get you above baseline. So, and I who knows, it could be a placebo effect or whatever, but I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel mentally tired. I wasn't dragging.
Did you take it all at once?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't recommend that for everybody because that much at one time can upset your stomach.
That's what I wondered. Yeah. Taking it all at once.
Yeah. But I didn't have a problem with it that time.
Okay.
That time. So, yeah, I love creatine.
Yeah.
When do you take it?
So on workout days, I actually got this from Medi. Medi, he owns several stores we work with. He's a really good. He's a several-time Olympian. He's kind of changed my peri-workout nutrition just from conversations with him. So I've been doing in my like intra workout. Sometimes I take a pre-workout, sometimes I don't. I'm working out in the evening, so I usually stick with like pump, something non-stim. But then, so I'll just take that by itself, and then in my intra workout, this bottle I'm drinking while I work out, I'll put a scoop of creatine, a scoop of glutamine, a gram and a half of HMB, and then like 13 grams of EAAs. I usually have that done where I got to kind of fill it up with water a little bit to finish my workout, and then post workout, I'll go protein, no carb with creatine and HMB again, and then what I changed was I've been not having carbs intra workout.
Right.
I don't have carbs before my workout. I don't have them intra, and I don't have them after for 2 hours. So I try to get about an hour. I'll eat about an hour or so before I work out, 90 minutes maybe. Workout, protein after, and then I'll wait a couple hours before I have carbs again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the reasoning behind that?
Growth hormone levels, natural growth hormone levels. Right. Yeah. So don't take growth hormone. And if you did, it messes with your insulin resistance and stuff. So it's kind of if one's on, the other's off. It's kind of works like that. So when you work out, when you have it, if the goal, I should say, if the goal is purely aesthetics, that's it.
Right.
That's all I'm really after.
You're trying to lose body fat.
Yeah, I want to be muscular, but I don't care what I weigh. I don't care how big I am. Just aesthetic. It'd be more of like a prep style diet where I'm getting ready for a show or something. You'd eliminate. If you want performance and like pure muscle gain, then you need to carb up in that peri-workout window. But I've changed it. I've maybe gotten a little leaner. I've done it for a couple weeks.
Did you go measure it all? Do your body fat, or are you just doing?
No, purely just the look and feel test. Yeah.
Did you take pictures before?
Nope.
No. Should have.
I'll get them to you.
I'm sure you got some on your phone anyways that you could send to me.
That sounds like a dare.
But yeah, big month with the creatine. We've got everybody.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the whole world on creatine.
Do you guys remember when Bang came out? It was like super popular.
Super creatine.
Yeah. Do you get any of that creatine in like energy drinks and liquids that are sitting on shelves?
I doubt it.
No, creatine actually has I guess depends what you think is long. It's not it's water soluble, not water stable. It's not shelf stable to sit in a liquid. And I know they have it's bonded with X, Y, and Z. Like eventually that's going to sit on the shelf for months, right? It's got years of expiration before the expiry date. So no, I wouldn't trust a creatine that's been sitting there,
I'm pretty sure they got in trouble for doing that. And I don't think super creatine's on those anymore.
Yeah. I think ours is kind of your upper limit of creatine just sitting around, being ready,
I think I read
stable
it's like
and drinkable.
12 hours.
I thought it was like 12. It was a day. If you sit around for more than a day in water, it's probably kind of denaturing, kind of losing its potency. I guess your body's going to convert that to creatinine as a waste product of creatine. So
we've talked about this before too, and I always think it's interesting to bring up because you see people that they're picky about their creatine, and they want to see, a trademark behind it because a trademark and supplements, which it's funny. I think it's kind of changed actually. I feel like trademarks prior to 2020 was a big deal and people wanted to see you using that stuff, where it's not so much anymore. We can put a lot of trademark stuff on ours and people are like, whatever, like, I don't even know what that means necessarily, but where do you stand on, the Creapure? I mean, the one thing I've heard about it, I've used it. We used to have a product that used Creapure, not here at Max Muscle, but it just mixes up better. But there's no benefit to it other than that. It's not going to absorb better in your muscles or anything. Right. Like that.
Creatine it's made up of 3 amino acids. So Creapure is a trademarked creatine. It comes out of Germany. The other sources are mainly coming out of China. But once that product is tested and it is creatine, it is those 3 amino acids, you can get the stamp of approval like, hey, this is Creapure. This came from our manufacturer in Germany, which is great. It's really good creatine. But it's that same once you get the creatine manufactured anywhere else, tested that it is in fact creatine, it's the same stuff. It's you can trademark your water from the location it came from, but in the end it's H2O.
It's still the same thing. Yeah.
So it's still the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You're paying more for a branded.
Yeah,
creatine,
and there's
opinion.
branded creatine. There's transport. We should get into how creatine works too, because there's transport agents and buffering agents and things to make it better. When really, guys, the creatine, your body doesn't have any problem absorbing creatine. If you want to increase creatine absorption, there's little things you can do. Take it with a carbohydrate.
I'd say I take mine with glycofeed.
Taking it with a carbohydrate can help uptake. Taking it with electrolytes. Electrolytes act as a shuttle, because especially when you are dehydrated because you're working out, you've sweat, so you've lost a lot of electrolytes, and you're kind of rehydrating those muscle cells. Well, that glycogen and those electrolytes are going to be what helps. Is a driver to help rehydrate those muscle cells, and with it, the creatine, whatever you ingest, is going to follow. So you can do some of that. That's why I like taking it post workout.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the studies show that if there's an optimal time to take creatine, they say post workout.
Post workout with carbohydrate. Yeah.
You talking about the water too? A lot of people, and I still hear this from some people every now and again, that, well, I don't take creatine because I don't want to get bloated, or I don't want the puffiness from the water retention. Like that's not
My
how it
face
works
gets
at all.
puffy or something like. No, you eat too much.
Yeah.
So how creatine works? Over 90% of creatine is found inside muscle cells and then in brain tissue. So you're not the bloat or the puffiness, what you call the water retention is not from creatine. You can go, if you go binge eat and you eat a lot of crappy, like salty food, and then you do have that kind of like puffy, watery look, that's subcutaneous water. Creatine, it does help hydrate your body, but what you're filling up is your muscle cell. Your muscle cell is going to be more full, more dense. Like you mentioned, you have that kind of that cellular density feeling. You get a better pump.
Yep.
That's because creatine is stored inside the muscle cell. So even when you like dieting, if you're not cutting out water, which you should not be at any point when you're dieting, cutting out water, this is
actually a very necessary nutrient for us.
Well, I'm thinking even like for this is controversial. I'm not a prep coach, but I know certain prep coaches have you cut out water, like they do water manipulation stuff. I think it's stupid. You don't
interesting.
You don't do it all the way up to competition.
Don't you save it for right at the end?
Well, and then you cut out all your water, right? You
load back up right before.
I don't know. I mean, just drink water.
Yeah.
Just continue to drink water.
So you don't think water plays a big factor?
No.
Okay.
No, I think if you get to the very end, and again, I'm not a bodybuilding fan. I'm not an aficionado. I'm not a prep coach, but I know prep coaches, and I think you're trying to, if you haven't done the work to get really, really lean, cutting out water. Okay, this kind of goes back to creatine, and depleting your muscle cells of hydration is not going to make you look leaner. It's going to make you look flat. And there's always like, well, I was flat. I didn't carb up, or I didn't, do I messed up my water manipulation. Well, no, you just weren't lean enough. You should have been manipulating water anyway.
Yeah.
So and then you get this is a whole nother, you get into diuretics, people taking diuretics to help flush out water. And then, when you flush out water, you lose electrolytes. That becomes very dangerous for your heart. Electrolytes what send signals to your heart.
Some of the last few bodybuilders that have died, wasn't one of them having to do with
a lot of
issues with water?
I don't know if it ever comes out like this is what it was, but sometimes it's electrolytes.
Yeah.
It's from taking Lasix or diuretics and then fucking up the signals to your heart. You go into AFib and worse. So there's no reason to manipulate water. But my point is, if you're not holding water, like unwanted water weight, creatine's not going to do that just because it doesn't have the ability to store subcutaneously. It's going to be in the muscle cells. So and like even for ladies who like, I don't want to feel bloated, it's actually a really nice way, because that cellular density, that muscle fullness adds curvy. It adds, where you're lean, it's going to make that area appear larger, rounder, curvier. So even if you are already very lean, creatine's only going to enhance that. The appearance is not going to take away from it. It's not like you're going to be a little bloated and puffy or rounded where you'd otherwise be lean and ripped.
Yeah. And, lastly on creatine, like the performance aspects of it, especially like, high school kids, college kids that are playing sports, like they should definitely be on it. If you're looking to be strong, I would definitely be on creatine.
It is. So here's a very layman's explanation of how creatine works. Like if you were trying to think, well, how exactly does this, let's talk like performance. Okay. So it works in two ways. Let's take it from like a recovery standpoint and from a performance standpoint. Let's start with performance. So creatine in the Krebs cycle, which is like the cycle of energies used all the way from ATP, which is very you have first energy, your sprint energy, you're fast, you're
up to 10 seconds
powerful.
of work.
Yeah. So that 0 to 12 seconds, okay, that's ATP, and then you go on to your glycolytic energy. The last is your fat, your fat oxidation, where you're burning fat for energy. So your body doesn't. So the very quick energy is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Your body doesn't store because they have very little half life. They burn up very quickly. I think it's like gasoline, like boom, quick. Yep. So your body doesn't necessarily store ATP; it stores ADP, which is inert. There's no energy to it, and you need creatine, phosphocreatine in the Krebs cycle to convert that ADP to the active.
You're borrowing a phosphate group from the creatine phosphate.
To make ATP.
Yeah.
And think of ATP. This is again, just as you understand, think of ATP, the conversion of ADP to ATP, and the rate at which, like we say, it burns out like at that 10, 12 second mark of your rate of you are when you've burned out all your ATP. So you have this very quick energy stores, and you're taking creatine, so you're going to be able to convert more ADP to ATP. And you're able to sprint 70 meters as fast as you possibly can. And then you start to slow down a bit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe if you take creatine, you can have more ATP. You can make it 75, 80 meters. Same as like, well, how does it work for instant strength? What's like muscular endurance? So maybe you're doing a max repetition bench press and you get to 4, you start 5 and you stop. And where your ATP stores run out, right? You have no more energy to complete that lift. So you're taking creatine. Again, this is how it's theoretical. I don't know that it's going to be 5 reps or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of stopping, at 4.5 reps, maybe you get 5 and you get down and you start to press that 6 before. So there's an instant performance benefit from it. The longer you take it, the more saturated you are, the more ATP you can convert.
Yep.
How it works from a recovery standpoint. So we already talked about it. It stores in muscle cells. So creatine in and of itself is not a huge recovery agent, but it does dilate the muscle cell. And when you have a dilated muscle cell, you can put more nutrients inside that. It's a healthier cell. You have more metabolism, more turnover of waste material. So it's kind of in with the good, out with the bad. And if you have this big, healthy muscle cell, you can put a lot more vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, amino acids into that muscle cell. So that is what's going to help repair and recover that muscle cell. So creatine works in that way, long-term benefit from a recovery standpoint.
Yeah.
A growth standpoint.
Yeah. What you were explaining with the creatine, the strength and the power performance, it's stacking up these extra reps over time that are going to lead to strength increases or muscle growth.
Size.
Yeah. The size of it. So, do you think people should load on it? That's another topic.
So I don't think there's not a downside to, especially with the cost of creatine. Like so what I guess what he's referring to, like creatine's free. It's
this month free
no cost,
creatine.
no cost on that. No, so loading is like think of your body like a creatine sponge, and there's a saturation point you're going to reach. You can reach that saturation point in a week if you take 20 grams, 30 grams a day. Then you're going to quickly reach a point where your body is storing as much creatine as possible. However, if you don't want to load in that loading phase, that first week, and you just take your 5-10 grams based on body weight, whatever, you just take your 5-10, at the end of 30 days, you're going to reach the same saturation point, whether you did the loading phase or not. Yeah. So
it depends how quick you want to get there.
Yeah.
I know like a lot of people, like athletes, I always like to use that reference in college athletes, for the summer or whatever, whenever you're doing your training, if you want to just get ahead or get there quicker, people will do that 20 from that first week or whatever, and then maintain it with 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm. It's like I said, the most important thing is just to kind of take it every day. Yeah. If you can, take it after a workout. If you're looking for maximum like recovery, performance gains, take it with a carbohydrate. Take it with post-workout with a carbohydrate with salt, electrolyte to help with the uptake of it. But really, if you take it just every day, anytime you're going to reach that saturation point. I don't even like a lot of times. I on my off days, I'll lift 4 days a week. most off days, I'll remember to take it. But if not, like I'm going to catch up.
I
I'll be okay.
want to take it on my off days. It's just a matter of if I remember.
If
Because
I'm-
it's
yeah.
routine when you're going to work out. It's right there in
Right.
front of you. But yes, sometimes on my off days I'll forget. But I
A
try
lot
to
of
take
times
it.
it's like a weekend or something. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll be out mowing or something, so I'll throw out my water bottle while I'm mowing. If I forget, it's not a huge deal.
Yeah. Yep. Well, cool. That is the deal we're running this month, people. So go get your free creatine. Is there anything else you had about creatine before I have Luke read this tweet?
Oh no, I don't even know what this is.
The nippered one.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't have it. I can't read it verbatim.
Oh, you don't have it?
Oh, I saved on my computer.
I'll just pull it up.
Yeah.
And fill up the space. Fill up the space. Start talking, Luke.
Well, if you're on TikTok, like me, you see a lot of talk about creatine, and everyone in the comments is like, I had to stop taking it because my hair started falling out, or like, I'm worried about my kidneys. Like that's not true, right? That's pretty much been.
No, and here's
People
the thing.
confuse
Yeah.
that with creatinine.
Yeah. So you will have higher creatinine levels if you take creatine. Creatinine is a waste product of creatine, but you have high creatinine levels. Like if you're an athlete and you're training really hard and you go have blood work done, you're going to have higher than a normal person's creatinine levels because your body's you're producing and using and eliminating a lot of creatinine anyway. So it is detectable. It's one way it's detectable, but there should be no like prolonged kidney damage. I don't know where the hair loss stuff comes from. I've never heard of that. And honestly, if you're worried about it, bald is trumped by big muscles. So I'm losing my hair. You think I'm going to stop taking creatine because it might be the cause? No, I'm going to go right on. I'll be jacked and bald.
That was because I saw a correlation with like more DHT or something, right?
It might be people.
And DHT causes hair loss.
Yeah, more people that take creatine. How about no? People that take steroids are more likely to take creatine, and that can cause hair loss, especially in women. So, women who are taking, not to cast blame, but you women who are taking steroids and blaming creatine, stop.
Stop it.
Stop. Okay, that male pattern baldness is not the creatine.
It's definitely not. Okay, so here is the tweet.
Do you know who Jeff Nippert is, Brian?
No.
How long ago was that incident? And I don't even remember the guy that it happened with.
2 years ago. His name was Big Mike on it. It's like Mike.
2 years ago is when that happened?
Maybe not. Maybe just a year.
Okay. Explain the...
Well, Jeff Nippert is science-based. That's his whole thing. That's his whole brand. He's huge. Millions of followers, subscribers everywhere. And there was another guy that worked out at the same gym who was like more old school bodybuilder, just like hit it hard, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they got into like a physical altercation at the gym. It was like kind of big in the fitness community. And like, it was like, they like not fought, but there was like,
He got like, he shoved him.
Yeah.
He open hand shoved him and got him in the throat. And later there were pictures of him of Nippert in the hospital wearing a neck brace.
Yeah.
It was
totally
so
playing
funny.
it up for like clicks
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but his whole thing is like science over everything.
Okay.
So this is his latest tweet.
Yeah. So, which actually tracks with a guy who would overplay a fake injury like that and wear a neck brace. I'm eating lab-grown meat the second it's mass market ready. It's biologically identical to animal meat and will reduce suffering more than any technology in the history of our planet as long as enough people switch over from factory farm meats. Thoughts on that?
Does it taste the same as farm meats? Because if it doesn't, I could see some suffering there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I actually thought that was like the funny part of it. Because like, is this guy, he's like against, I guess, butchering cows and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think that tracks with the guy who would put on a neck brace after getting throat punched on camera.
I don't know much about
It just kind of seems like
lab grown meats.
you don't have to be a religious person, like whatever you want to believe in, but it does just kind of seem like a slap in the face at the very least to like how nature actually works.
Well, and there's always trade-offs.
Yeah.
There's always there's never an easy way without a trade-off. So
I bet you it will not taste as good.
right. Well, or I mean even that, like that's maybe but nutrient density, all that, like there will be some trade-offs, guessing.
Yeah. At what point do you have to pump, lab grown meat with all kinds of different things to actually, mimic the nutritional value of meat?
Right. I mean, I guess if the taste is the same, the amino acid profile the same, the nutrient content is the same, sure, we might all be eating lab grown meat.
Just doesn't sound natural. I'm going to rebel.
Yeah,
They're really picking that up, aren't they?
firefighters, I bet they take creatine.
They do. I gave them some.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be the first in line to do the lab grown meat.
Yeah.
But it may be something eventually where it's like whey protein, where it's a supplemental to your diet of meat already. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it because
what's it made out of? What is it made out of?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Good question. I don't know.
Is it literally
It's
just
3D printed, probably?
I mean, will it be whey based? You know what I mean? Like what? Like
No
I'm
clue.
just probably not smart enough to understand.
Yeah, I mean, what's the construction materials coming? I mean, you're gonna have amino acids. Where are those amino acids coming from for lab grown meat?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I like how he says it's gonna, end the suffering.
End suffering, yeah.
Like, there's just so many inventions I could do, like penicillin
Yeah.
or any medical invent. Like,
Yeah.
we used to not know about germs,
Right.
and infection was just running rampant.
Yeah.
Right.
But heaven forbid we kill those cows.
I would probably respect that tweet a little bit more had he left out the suffering part. Like, I think that, factory farming and all that stuff, not good for all these other reasons other than just like the suffering of it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and start murdering cows because I think you should do that. But, I also like to live in reality, and this is just the reality that we live in. There is a time and a place for, where we're at in the country or the world as far as our technology and ability to mass farm and all this stuff. So
yeah, I don't.
I don't know, dude. I just thought it was a pussy ass tweet.
I don't put a lot of thought. I mean, there's times I'm like, God, I'll bet our family eats three chickens a day have to die to feed my family.
Yeah.
Like that kind of sucks, but I'm not a chicken.
They're here to be eaten.
They are. They're food. They are food.
Yeah.
And it's not like, a hen in the wild is going to have a better death than that chicken.
Exactly. Yeah. I follow this one family on Instagram who they kind of do like homesteading, and they have this, they raise their chickens and stuff, and you just see the mom come up and grab it and start swinging its neck. And then they have like this, it must be some kind of a saw or butcher thing. She just sticks their heads in there and it just cuts their heads clean off. And then she gets to butchering and living the dream, really.
See, I don't want to do that.
I would. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't want to, like, I
I
don't
want to see Brooke out there doing is what I want to see.
So bad. I don't want to kill anything myself.
You don't want to hunt? Like, I would love to
care.
get into hunting and like
I don't care.
bag a deer.
Honestly, like, maybe I'm not manly, but I can go to the grocery store and get meat and then do like fun stuff, like you want to go shoot.
No, you're manly. Jeff Nippard's not.
Do you want to go shoot guns? Yes. Do you want to get up at 3:30 a.m. Saturday morning and go sit out in the woods and freeze your ass off and wait for a deer to
maybe not get anything?
Yeah. Well, let's do it for a week. Deer season lasts like No. There's a whole grocery store, and I got buddies that hunt that are willing to just give me shitty tasting deer meat. I don't need to go get it myself. And then you got to cut its gut. They're like, oh, it's pretty bad. You don't know what to eat. You cut their guts open. You pull it out. You pack it out. Like, I don't pack anything. Someone puts it in a grocery bag, and I walk. This is 2025. I put it in a grocery bag, and I walk out of the store. I put it on the grill.
I get it, but I definitely want to.
And then as far as like farming. We're not really set up to have cattle, but the nicest animal you ever meet's a steer.
Yeah.
It's got its balls cut off. It's no testosterone. The really sad things are super friendly. It's like the ones that are like raised from calf to steer because they have their balls cut off early, so there's no aggression. And then they're free range. This is great. They're grass fed, free range, and then for a couple months before you take them to slaughter, you feed them. So they know the sound of a feed bucket. So they're the friendliest things ever.
sure.
Big eyes, big eyelashes. They're cute.
You don't even know what's coming.
Oh,
do you?
Kylie's named them. She's named them, and we slaughter them. Yeah.
Well, perfect. I think it's a good spot to end it.
Sweet.
Yep. Go get your creatine, people.